This recently unearthed statue in Egypt that's allegedly 3,000 years old and of Ramses II is absolute evidence of a lost ancient high technology. And it's also evidence of the BS narrative that the Egyptologists and the Minister of Antiquities of Egypt continue to throw to the masses. And let me start with my first point, which is that they claim that it's 3,000 years old. Okay, so they don't know that. You cannot carbon date stone. But they say that, oh, well, it's very likely to be of Ramses II who lived 3,000 years ago, so okay. Well, really? Like, what makes you think it's Ramses II or Ramses whoever? Do you see a face on this stone? I know I sure don't. I mean, is there a name tag that I failed to read? Give me a break. What I see here is a broken statue with an elongated skull, which is really interesting considering that most statues of Ramses II, whoever, do not have elongated skulls. Now, a couple do that I found through my search, but then it raises the question, like, how do you know this is the same person? It's ridiculous. Like, these Egyptologists just throw names onto various statues and claim they know who they were and when they lived. But they completely omit the key fundamental aspect of this statue, which is that it's made out of quartzite. Quartzite is a 7 out of 10 on the Mohs scale of hardness. Diamond is a 10. Now, most statues in Egypt are made of basalt, which is a 6 out of 10, and then you have rose granite, which is commonly used, which is a 6.5 out of 10 on the Mohs scale. But quartzite exceeds that. And it must be mentioned that steel is what's used to cut these types of stones, yet we know that the dynastic Egyptians did not have steel. They had bronze. Well, bronze is a combination of copper and tin. You can make it in your kitchen probably. Any modern-day stonemason utilizes steel with diamond bit drills to cut quartzite, rose granite, and basalt. So that being said, how did the Egyptians do this? What's far more likely is that this statue predates the dynastic Egyptians and is part of the civilization that was wiped out 12,980 years ago during the incredible cataclysm that happened here on Earth. I have a video about this. I mean, honestly, for them to just say that, oh, it's 3,000 years old and of Ramses II, like, are you joking? Like, you can't tell who it is. Now, I understand that certain aspects of the body are very similar to other statues in Egypt, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Egyptians did not make this. But if you really think that they just scrubbed down quartzite with sand for like 100 years or however long it would take to do so, give me a break. There's far more to this story. And when you start connecting the dots on all the evidence from megalithic structures from around the world, not just Egypt, but from South America, Turkey, all over the place, you will see that there is absolute evidence of some sort of lost ancient high technology that was utilized to carve these stones. There's no other way. Now look at these photos here. The statue is massive. Even the piece of torso that they lifted out is 3 tons of it in itself. Now how were they able to move something so heavy is one thing, but how they were able to cut and carve one solid piece of quartzite with the materials that we know that the dynastic Egyptians had clearly leaves an absolute gap in what the current textbooks have been stating for decades. It's quite literally evidence that the textbooks are inaccurate and that there's far more to the story of ancient human civilization than we were ever taught in school or they're actively teaching today. Anyways, guys, I'll leave it at that. Like and subscribe. I have many other videos on this topic and a whole other wide variety of topics as well. I'm Jimmy. This is Bright Insight. Take care, everybody.